Engaging Thrice's download.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Thrice with Thrice's Download, coming at you live from Austin, Texas. Well, actually Liberty Hill, Texas, but you know, we're all Austin out here. But coming to you from Spreaker. If you want to listen live or follow me, you can check me out on Spreaker.com. You can look for Thrice. You can also look for Andrew James Saida. It should pull me up either way. But anyways, folks, wanted to come at you with the title, Pain, Suffering, and Life Choices. Going to be just a quick 10 minutes here. Like I said, I'm going to be pushing for these kind of clips here. We will be having some guests this next week coming on. Some local business people focused on the quantum aspect, or more or less the magic aspects of life. And actually, one lady we'll have on, she's going to be talking about her items that she makes for people in order to balance them, protect them, all sorts of stuff when it comes to energetic vibrations, folks. And that leads into the pain and suffering and life choices. You know, one thing, being right 100% real on this, we're starting out, we're about to do a crowdfunding page for our company, Life is Life Training. And you'll hear me talk a lot about my journey with Life is Life Training throughout this broadcast as it goes on. But we're going to be starting a crowdfunding page for us switching over to nonprofit aspects and actually opening a facility, because we really want to push this agenda of helping, providing a service where we can teach people how to be healthier and balance out their life in the aspects of electromagnetics. Because we get so wrapped in this physical material world, and that's where this pain and suffering seems to really come from. In the Buddhist traditions, it's actually a big one where a lot of people say, oh, life is just pain and suffering, and it supposedly comes from the Buddhist aspects. When this is just my take on it, the reality of their aspects is there's two kinds of pain. There's physical and there's mental. The way it breaks it down is that with the physical pain, you can't really get past it unless you accept it and embrace it as something that is happening for your development and something that you really aren't at fault for. And that can be taken in any way, as far as whether it's really something, you know, some spiritual concepts of shamanism talk about your physical pain is actually a part of your mental body or your energetic body. And that is there's a deeper reason for the pain, like heart conditionings. There's a backlying aspect of not being honorable enough or honest enough, not having good integrity. Your heart can be weak, or not being giving enough or loving enough, all sorts of things when it comes to your heart and different things with that. And then also stomach can be related to the solar plexus chakra. So going off into different cultures, there's different concepts when it comes to this. But with the Buddhist tradition, there's the physical and the mental pain. And the physical is kind of an external thing you can't always help. And the mental is something that you're going through and you have to overcome. And that's the real pain that you can deal with. And when you accept that, and this is only my perspective on it, when you embrace that mental pain and that you can overcome that, at least it helps with the physical pain. If something happens, like a natural disaster or a battle wound or some type of accidental injury. But there's a whole other side to this, folks, where life choices really are the basis for what pain and suffering you may go through. And there's a great movie out there, I want you to check it out if you haven't already, called What the Bleep Do We Know? This movie, just like a lot of people have heard of The Secret, I think What the Bleep Do We Know is a better representation of what our will can do when it comes to the law of attraction, or I call it the quantum physical reality. Because in the quantum physical reality, there is only the observer effect, where everything that is material, even everything that is conscious, is existing in simultaneous points all at the same time. But we, as observers, as consciousness, perceive a relative position within the time-space continuum. And it's very complex, but it's also very simple. It's just everything you see is a hologram, folks. So, and that's kind of where I focus on with my understandings and my perception, is that pain and suffering are just challenges. And one thing I know I have is I have indigestion and some aches and pains when it comes to my intestinal system. And it's been a process, working with some raw foods and some cooked foods, and more lightly cooked than overcooked. I can't really fry as much as I like to. There's tons of different things when it comes to the physical aspect of pain and suffering. And you can constantly try to battle. But one thing I've always come to understand, for me, one of my life choices that I'm learning to make is something called the art of meditation. Focusing on incorporating how my meditational practice takes place, believing in that, not doubting myself, not fearing the waste of time, because it's not a waste of time, but actually dedicating that 10 to 30 minutes a day and opening myself up to that healing. And when I say that as a choice, it is a choice for healing. And that's from my perspective, folks. If you don't believe this, or you don't accept that because your religion, or you just don't want to accept that, that's fine. You can look into research on what meditation does to the brain and what the brain can do to the body when it comes to the electromagnetic frequencies. For me, though, I can have a bout of indigestion, complete acid coming up my esophagus into my mouth, burning everything, causing me to become furious with pain, try to take Tums, everything, nothing works. When I sit down and make the choice to stop my mind and meditate, it all goes away. Now, we just talked about the Buddhist aspects of physical and mental pain. For me, I'm telling you that when I have physical pain, and it is incorporated, or it is adjoined by mental pain, because mine is attached, I can look. For me, it's very simple. I can see it. When I meditate, it all goes away. And I tell you this, as soon as I come out of that and I'm not fully calm or fully function, if I break out because my mind slips through a sneaky thought of, you still got heartburn, all of a sudden I will get indigestion again. So I'm talking about for 10 to 30 minutes of no indigestion. And somewhere in between, if I break it, it will all of a sudden happen again. But before that, now let's go back. Before that, my indigestion will take place for hours. So it'll be like a good 30 minutes of solid back and forth indigestion every 2 to 3 minutes. And then it will stop for half an hour because I ate something, and then it will come back. So it's been a battle I've been constantly trying to deal with physically. But the reality is I have certain life choices I'm not making, and that I'm starting to make every day. Because that's what it comes down to. It's not what choices you made, what choices you're gonna make. It's the choices you're making right now. It's like today's Tuesday. So what I'm doing is I got this podcast I'm putting out, and then I'm gonna put out another one that's focused on the importance of being you. And the reason I'm doing that is because Tuesday is related to action. And I did not do a podcast on Monday like I wanted to. And so I'm taking that action and I'm utilizing it. Now that's a choice that I'm making in my life. What is that doing for me? Well, right now, I'll tell you this. I just had an ingestion earlier. Now I don't. And it's because I'm focusing on myself. I'm focused on being who I am meant to be and making that life choice to talk about this and be honest. You guys can persecute me. You can say that this isn't real. It's not happening. And that's been my biggest issue why I don't talk about this stuff. Is because for me, personally, how am I supposed to tell people about things that doesn't physically make sense when it comes to their natural material science? But when you study the quantum aspects, when you study the ancient mysteries, it makes sense completely, full-fledged and everything. And so that's what, again, with this program, what I'm trying to bring people is truth and information. So that's really my perspective when it comes to pain, suffering, and the life choices you make. If you are going through your life and there's constantly these reoccurring problems that create that pain, you've really got to reflect on that and look deep into it. I mean, karma is a very interesting thing. I don't think karma is there to dictate our lives. I think karma is there to teach us how to overcome it and how to move past it, how to eliminate the need for karma. And if you read a lot of these esoteric books, the mystery teachings of the self and different ancient texts and new texts, that is a common recurrence, is the evolution past karma. That karma, this reoccurring thing of, you're never going to get out of your karma, that is limiting our consciousness to say, you're only a physical creature, basically, affected by the laws outside in a spiritual world you'll never attain. Well, for me personally, I feel, and I've talked to a lot of people about this and read a lot, where different people's opinion is that, first, meditation is a way to access that spiritual world. 2, sleeping, dreaming, we do it every day, and we're accessing the spiritual world. 3, you're made of electricity. That's a part of the spiritual world. So to act like we are dedicated, or to act like we are subjugated to pain and suffering because we are physical and that's what is in the physical is pain and suffering, is only looking at half of the picture. The reality is life in itself is this great vast mystery of learning and developing, continuously progressing. I mean, that is life. Live your life. Listen to these statements. Live your life. Live the life that begs the question. Be who you are in your life. It's just these phrases and the way we say them are really the truth. Life is life training. That's why we got that company and we named it that. Or that's why we started that company and we named it that. That's why we want it to be a non-profit, because we want it to be dedicated to helping people understand that life is life training. You do not need a college professor or some teacher to tell you how to be a person and how to live your life or what is going on in your life. You only need yourself and whatever aspect of creation you believe in. You don't have to believe in a God. You don't have to believe in a supreme deity. Just the fact that creation is real and there's electricity. Because that is science and religion and every single thing we've ever studied. Is that this thing called life is not just pain and suffering. It's also joy, love, happiness. It's, and these are all very different things. Joy can bring tears to your eyes as well as love and happiness. But happiness can also make you laugh and have fun and sing, and love they really all can do the same things. But you want to use these terms in different conditions because it helps you move out of the fact that life is only pain and suffering. And I get so frustrated at people who try to say that this is just the way it is, folks. You're a physical creature. You're always going to be stuck in these things until you die. The best you can do is get what you can and get out. And that's just ridiculous because we've already got what we need. It's not get what you can. It's have what you want because you already have access to everything you could ever want and ever need. And that's the perfect example of that is our non-existent but existent culture of America. It's this fast-paced, technologically driven, collective consciousness aspect of a society that really wants to grow up and live. I mean, in all corners of the facets of our country, we are constantly having new people come up with ideas that are innovative and advanced in order to better not just our lives, but the world's life, the condition of the entire planet. And that's where you want to really understand the aspects of pain and suffering. Watch a National Geographic channel or some Discovery channel on animals and, pack mentalities and all the ways that they function. And you'll begin to see that yes, pain and suffering is a part of life, but it is not life. Life is the choices you choose to make, and your purpose is the responsibility that you accept. And that's what I got for you today, folks. So if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go to Spreaker, and you can check me out, Thrice. It's Thrice's download. I have it abbreviated as TD, and you can find all the episodes that way. But make sure to follow me. You can also find me on Facebook, Thrice, or Andrew James Saida. Or you can go to lifeislifetraining.com. There's some stuff on there. You can check out our groups, and you can also check out some more podcasts and music. We will be opening up a complete radio channel, Life is Life Training Radio Network, hopefully by March here. So in a couple weeks, we'll be getting a couple more people on to do podcasts. And if you're interested, contact me. Google, Facebook, you can find me. Again, that's Thrice or Andrew James Saida, and that's Thrice, like knocking 3 times upon the door. But just contact me, get in touch, let me know what you're about. I'd love to have some more people get involved here. We've already got a couple, but we're looking to grow this network pretty strong, where I'll set you guys up on Spreaker, and you'll get going sharing this message. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and that was Pain, Suffering, and Life Choices. And just remember, folks, it all begins with you.